us on Facebook at Daunta A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Daunta Long. Follow us on YouTube at Daunta A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Longtalk.
Good evening, and welcome to Long Talk on this Tuesday evening. And so glad to have you sharing with us on this evening. I'm just so happy to have another opportunity to have a meaningful and effective conversation with you that are watching us here tonight, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or whatever platform you're watching on tonight. I will ask you to do me a quick favor, if you will, here on Long Talk tonight. Just go and like and share. If you're on Facebook, go ahead, start a watch party if you don't mind. We've got a meaningful dialogue here tonight, some hot topics that we're going to discuss here in our culture, here in our community. And we want you to get this word out to as many. So if you're on Instagram, go ahead and connect with us. If you're on Twitter, please, by all means, subscribe and follow us. And then those that are on YouTube tonight that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that subscription button, subscribe to us, and if you don't mind, please do us a favor and make sure that you hit that notification bell. Hit that notification bell so that you can stay engaged with all things Long Talk, all right? All right, thank you again, and thank you so very much, I say. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you doing that for us. All right, listen, tonight, without any further ado, we've got a meaningful dialogue. And when I mean meaningful, this is something you need to call everybody. Call everybody, because this topic of education and what's going on in our school system is all over the news. It's in all print media. It's a hot topic here on social media, and many are in the streets marching and protesting about recent decisions that have been made. But tonight we're privileged to have one of our leaders, the vice chair of the Clayton County Board of Education, serves as the representative for District 3. She's a community leader. You can Google her name, find her out serving, attending to the needs of all of her constituents. And she's also a woman who has raised children. She has done it all. You can see her doing a plethora of things, but all focused and centered around serving our community. And tonight she's here on Long Talk. So friends, help me welcome the vice chair of the Clayton County Public Schools Board of Education, the one and the only Dr. Alieka Anderson. Dr. Anderson, how are you tonight?
I am well. How are you tonight, Mr. Long, Reverend Long?
Oh, I'm just Daunta for tonight's conversation. Just call me Daunta. How you doing tonight?
And I'm just Alieka.
Oh my goodness. So glad that we can have a meaningful long talk tonight and just be who we are tonight. Is that fair?
Exactly. I'm glad that we were able to connect.
Absolutely. And I'm just happy that you took a little time to come and talk to us, because I know you're very busy. We were a little delayed tonight because I know the superintendent of our great county of the Board of Education was doing his State of the School address. And I thank you that immediately following that, you took time to just come and talk to us. But before we dig into that and dig into so much that's going on in the world of education, I just want you to introduce yourself to the Long Talk audience.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Alieka Anderson, and I am a native of Atlanta, Georgia. I went to the illustrious Benjamin Elijah Mays High School. I'm a product of Southwest Atlanta. I went to school in Atlanta Public Schools. I was Peyton Forest Elementary, Southwest Middle School, and again, Benjamin Elijah Mays High School. And I just want to say that, it's just so great to be here. I came out tonight because I wanted to just talk about what's going on in education, just letting you know about me, and so I can be an inspiration to someone tonight, because we all need a little inspiration right now. I know we're all going through a lot with COVID, and there's some things that we just need to talk about. And I know parents are ready for students to go back to school. But in Clayton County, and I know I'm kind of supposed to be talking about myself, but I'm just saying in Clayton County, we do things a little bit different. And and as we move on and we go through COVID-19, we're going to continue just to take care of our babies, our take care of our teachers and everyone. And we just want, I just want everybody to know that, we're in this together, and that, I'm praying for everyone. I've been saved since I was about 25 years old. I got saved right here in Atlanta, under Pastor Betty Cooper, over on Hill Street at the Church of Life. So I am a Christian, and I'm just praying for our community that, as we go through, that people will have a heart, and that people will just look out for our people. Mm-hmm. And not say our people, I'm talking about black, white, everybody, but especially our people in the African American community. So I just want to, make that statement, and just, we'll talk from here and go from here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm just glad that from the onset you have stated your purpose and your focus, and so that no one is unclear about what your interests are as it relates to why you have been granted the opportunity to serve on the Clayton County Board of Education. And not only just to serve on the board, but you are the second highest ranking official by being the vice chair. And one of the things that we realized, Dr. Anderson, and I'm always going to call you Dr. Anderson. I'm so sorry. It's just a habit. But, okay. Man, listen, Clayton County has not been in the news over the last few days. And we know that some of our neighboring counties have been in the news because many of them are sending, in some cases, the kindergartners, the first graders and the second graders. Some are sending first and third graders, and in high schools, other tiers of classes and alternating days, and some have put out hybrid models, and some are giving choice. But Clayton County has been very emphatic in taking a position. Can you talk to us about what decision was reached and is still in place, and just give us an update as to what Clayton County's position has been, because you guys have been so silent over the last few days?
Well, what we did was we always look at our data in Clayton, and that was one thing I always asked Dr. Beasley and the team to do as we made our decisions to keep our students at home. Mm-hmm. And as we looked at the data, the numbers were not so bad when school started, but as school progressed and it got colder, and just like Dr. Fauci said, once it gets colder, and once we hit into that to the winter months, we knew that the numbers were going to increase. And we have been seeing so many schools go back, mm-hmm. and we've seen other districts who have lost teachers. There were 3 teachers lost in Cobb County. Yeah. And the three teachers, I pulled their names. We had Patrick Key, Dana Johnson, and Cynthia Lindsay. Mm-hmm. That just hurts my heart, because we don't want to lose anyone. And I know people always say, well, the younger kids, they're not dying of COVID. They're not the ones that, it's better to bring them back and things of that nature. But these teachers, some of these teachers work at elementary schools. And whereas our younger babies may not show signs of COVID, may not, show outward symptoms, it may be harvested within their system, within their bodies. Mm-hmm. And they may send it out to a teacher or someone, within the school building may catch it from them. Just because they're not showing signs doesn't mean that they don't have it. So again, those symptoms lay dormant in some of our young people. And as we can see, the teachers are catching it because they're the adults, we're the ones that are susceptible to catching COVID. So we're the ones that are going to have it. And so, yeah, it's great that we can bring our babies back in the building, but why are we going to risk killing our teachers? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to kill them. Why are we going to our teachers, our children too, because the older kids, high school, they're susceptible to it too. So why are we gonna risk killing people? The main thing is, I think with COVID right now, and this is just my opinion. I think that, I know everybody doesn't want to shut everything down. Everybody's like, we still, we still need to keep things going. But we've got to do just a deep cleaning of the schools everywhere and just get everything back on track. We need everybody right now. We need everybody tested. There are not enough testing sites out here. And we need vaccines. We need to make sure that everybody gets the vaccine. I know a lot of people are scared to get the vaccine at this point in time, and I really don't blame them. I mean, think about how they did our people with the Tuskegee experiment and things of that nature.
Sure.
But we've got to get this thing under control. And and then we can move into our schools and do what we need to do. But Clayton County, I'm just going to let you know, we just don't do business as usual like everybody else. We're going to do what's best for our children. We're going to do what's best for our population. And we know with African Americans, we have a lot of underlying conditions. And if we send our teachers and our staff back into these buildings, and we know with all the underlying conditions, our teachers and staff and custodians and police officers and everybody has within our county, we're going to make them susceptible to dying. And I am not going to have blood on my hands.
Talk to us, Dr. Anderson. Talk to us. You don't want blood on your hands.
That's right.
And I want to ask, we're seeing in neighboring counties, and we've got some people on watching tonight that are talking about the fact that they are teachers and they're going back. It seems that a lot of teachers, and I quote one lady as saying, it appears that our county is more concerned about what their objective is than the health and the well-being of we as teachers. At what point do we say that the lives of teachers and the lives of staff members are more important than whatever the goals of the state mandated test or the federal funding or other objectives that I know a lot of our school systems have to meet? At what point do we say that the lives of the teachers and the staff are more important?
We say it now, and just like with Clayton County Public Schools, we're saying we're taking a stand, and we're saying that we care about everybody. But we especially want to make sure that our teachers are safe. Our teaching is a calling, and I want to say we need to start respecting our teachers. Every other country respects their teachers. Every other country holds their teachers up to a high esteem. Why don't we do that here in America? Our teachers come to work every day when they're tired, whenever, and they have been committed to making sure that they provide the educations to the doctors and the lawyers and the judges and the presidents that we see right now. And so, if we don't preserve our teachers and make sure, we already have a teacher shortage, as we look, you every time within, people don't really stay in the profession because they get burned out, because you have to do so much. As a teacher, I'm a teacher. I've been in the classroom. I've been an administrator. I've been all across the board in education. And we've got to start respecting our teachers, not just everyone in education. We've got to start respecting that, because education is the key. I don't care what anybody says. You can start your own business. You can do all of that. But you got your foundation from your teacher in your high school, middle school, or elementary class. Somebody taught you how to read and write. Am I not correct?
You're absolutely correct.
So that person, we've got to start respecting our teachers. They went to school for this. They have degrees for this, and we need to respect them for what they've gone to school for. They shouldn't have to be called Dr. Anderson. Just because they're a teacher and that they have the best interest of your child at hand, that is why you should be respecting them and making sure that we take care of them. And I think that after this pandemic, even with all of us as parents who have had to stay home with our kids, I know most of us have a lot different respect for teachers, because now they see what we have to go through, what I've had to go through, what everyone has, what it entails. And it is not an easy job. So we need to make sure that we take care of them and not just mistreat them. And so that's why I'm here, because I'm going to stand up for educators. I'm going to stand up for children too, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure I'm going to stand up for everyone. But and somebody has to speak up, and so I think that um, if you don't stand for something, you don't stand for nothing at all. And I think that we have done such a disservice to educators when with some of the things that we put out there, like they're essential workers and things of that nature. But remember, they have families too that they
Mm.
have to go home to. They have children too that they have to deal with through this pandemic, and teach those children and teach our children too. So we've got to start having compassion. And I think what COVID-19 has taught us is taught us, if not anything, it's taught us, number one, we have to have compassion, love one another, and treat everyone right. So, like I said, I am going to back our teachers 100%. I'm going to back my superintendent, Dr. Morsees J. Beasley, 100%. When we see that these numbers go down and that the government gives us a plan where we can safely go back into these schools and we don't have people dying, then I can with my heart, and I can truly say, it's time to move forward. It's time, to put everybody where they need to go. But can I tell you something, Daunta, Reverend Long? I was riding down the expressway the other day, and I saw a truck. And this is what God was showing me. When I saw this truck, the truck was full of caskets. And
Mm.
I said to myself, I'm 47 years old. I don't mind telling my age. But in my 47 years of living, I've never seen a caskets on a truck riding down the highway. So that lets me know that people are dying. You
Mm.
know, people are dying, and we can't keep losing people to something that if we just use common sense
Mm-hmm.
and just take a stand and just protect everybody, put everybody. I don't know if we need to clean the streets, what we need to do, but whatever we need to do, and get everybody safe, that's what we need to focus on.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Mhm.
Dr. Anderson, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to
Okay.
come right back and we're going to talk about moving forward. What do we believe most of our counties and most of our parents and most of our students should be doing as
Mhm.
we look to finally, hopefully, and indelibly come back to school at some point?
Okay.
We're going to take this quick break and we'll be right back.
Are you broken and wounded because of life situations? Situations that were out of your control, or maybe even some that you've even caused yourself. Nonetheless, we must learn in this life that when life gives you lemons, we must make lemonade. Introducing the Bounce Back Effect, How to Soar in the Midst of Problems by Dr. Carl M. Barnes. In this book, you will learn 5 important principles that will teach you how to soar in every situation that life throws your way. Inspirational author, powerful motivator, and leadership coach, Dr. Carl M. Barnes is changing lives across the world. As a retired commander after serving 35 years in the United States Navy, he is renowned for his powerful training and coaching of executive leaders. This book will inspire you and give you the tools you need to elevate you into your true destiny. Order your copy today. The Bounce Back Effect, How to Soar in the Midst of Problems by Dr. Carl M. Barnes. Available right now.
We're back here tonight with Dr. Alieka Anderson, the Vice Chair of the Clayton County Board of Education. And she's been talking to us tonight about the significance and the importance of keeping everyone involved in the school system here in Clayton County at the forefront of our attention. And you were talking earlier about making sure that we come up with a strategic plan because just sending them back without cleaning our buildings and getting proper tests and even getting vaccines and much more is really negligence, right? And so I want to ask you, what have you seen in the data lately that causes you to be so sure that holding out is the best method moving forward?
All right. I'm just gonna, and I like to pull data. I'd like to look at data, and as I look, I wanted to, I pulled to see what were the results of how many cases of COVID-19 that we had in Clayton County,
Mm-hmm.
and as I look, we have about 18,686 cases of COVID, of
Wow.
people who have had COVID plus 80. And deaths, we have had 282 deaths plus one. So that plus one may have been someone who actually died today or within the last few days. So as I look at this data, I also looked at the data of the counties that were in the metro area. I looked at Gwinnett County. They've had 79,588 cases and 703 deaths.
Mm.
Fulton County, 74,427 cases and 910 deaths. Cobb County, 59,948 cases and 695 deaths. Now, those are 3 school districts that have gone back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look at that data and you look at those numbers, and then you look at our numbers in Clayton, again, we only have 18,686 cases within Clayton and 282 deaths. Now, as I looked at that data and I started comparing, I said, when you open everything up, this shows you when you open everything up,
Mm-hmm.
you're not prepared. The schools are not clean like they're supposed to be. The numbers are rising. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get large numbers, 70 and 50,000 and 50,000 people catching COVID. And you're going to have an increase of deaths. And so as I compared the data of our county versus theirs, I don't know. As you look at the correlation, we're doing something right because we don't have all these people dying and we don't have all these people catching COVID. Now, some people may say, well, you all might not, we have a lot of theories around people saying, well, y'all probably not, telling everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like this. God looks out for those who use common sense. And I feel that we have used common sense. Sometimes you just got to use it. You can't leave home without it. And we cannot, when you look at this data and you see the people that are dying, and what's going on within the world and the cities that who have opened up and the increase in the deaths that they're having,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, I mean, I don't know. It just looks bad. And so we've got to continue looking at this data. We've got to continue taking in consideration of our teachers and our educators and our everybody and our parents. Believe me, parents, I understand. But as we go through this, just know that any help that you need through Clayton County Public Schools, whether if you're having any issues with your students or whatever, our police department is out. They're vigilant. They're going to homes. Our social workers are out. They're vigilant. They're going to homes. We're feeding. I want to give shots out. We have to our I can't. I'm trying to think of what department it is, but they're working with our schools and they're out feeding. We have different sites that we're feeding at.
Correct.
And we're making sure that our kids eat, and we're making sure that our community eats. So we're making sure we're making sure Dr. Dixon over at Huey Elementary and Mr. Taylor. I've gone over there. I've passed out food within the community, and that's what we're about. We're going to take care of everybody. We're going to make sure everybody eats. We're going to make sure you have what you need here in Clayton County. Mm-hmm. But if you just work with us, let us get through this pandemic and let us, get everything under control, parents, I promise you, when we go back in, those schools are going to be clean. Everything is going to be right. And I can't promise, I can't promise everything because, politicians, we always say, now I promise you, no, I'm not going to promise you, that. Promise you one thing or the other, but what I will promise you is that we're going to take care of our babies and take care of our teachers. So,
And Dr. Anderson, we appreciate the fact that Superintendent Beasley and you members of the board have gone out of your way to express your concern by not only making sure that we stay out of harm's way, but while out of harm's way and in the shelter of our homes, you have, as you said just a moment ago, you've been distributing food on a daily basis. You've also been sending those social workers. But I got to be quite candid with you, Dr. Anderson, quite candid.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of parents saying, and I took a few of these notes off social media. Listen,
because I know what they're saying.
I'll just give you two of them. They should have been open at school. My kids are on my last nerves. If somebody don't hurry up and come get these kids, I don't know what I'm gonna do. What are you saying to all these parents who are just saying, "Oh my God, hurry up, open the school"?
I'm a mother. I was, even when, let me tell y'all something. In the summertime, after I got through teaching, that was my woosah time. But I still didn't have that woosah time because I had Brian here, my son.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand. I'm a mother. Sometimes, you just want to scream. But just you guys, if you all can pool together within the community, kind of help each other out. Have homeschool sometimes at one house, whatever you need to do. I just say you guys pull together as a community, help each other out, start working together because, again, even with me being a single mother, somebody had to help me, and it was my mama. She was my backbone. She helped me with Brian. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. He definitely wouldn't be where he is today.
Sure.
So, again, we've got to pull together. That's what people did back in the day. We've got to get back to the old school ways.
To the village concept. The village concept. Yeah.
It takes a village. I know you can't do it by yourself. I couldn't do it by myself. It took a village. I had Jesse Goree. I had my board members, the Clayton County School Board, and my Clayton County family. They were the ones that helped me through. So if it's anyone within your communities, you guys start connecting, start getting with each other, help each other out. If somebody needs a job, tell them about, put it on next door, put it out there. People call me every day. They're like, Dr. Anderson, I need this, I need that. I'm there. So like I said, if we can just continue to pool together, work together. I know you say it's easier said than done. I don't. It's somebody on here saying I don't have nobody. What is she talking about? You got somebody. I'm here. People in the community are here. My number is. You all can write down my number. My number is 770-317-2749. If you need food, we are here. If you need a job, we can point you to a job. We just want everybody to be safe. Yeah. Now I can't keep your kids. I know I can't do that. I can't keep your kids, but just know that, like I said, take this time to bond with your kids. Take this time to get to know your babies. Take this time to do some things with them that you haven't been able to do before. Maybe God put us through this, y'all, so we could learn to bond with our kids. Take some time to do some things for ourselves. This is the first time, even through this pandemic, before this pandemic, I used to go. I was here, I was there, I was everywhere. But this has been a time that I've been able to sit down with God and be able to see some things. Take some time to pray with your kids. Take some time to just, do things that you never were able to do because you were working all the time. Yeah. This has been a blessing for so many of us. And we need to take time to just thank God for this blessing. It may look one way, but y'all got to know that God is in this. And He had to slow us down. We had people out here sex trafficking and doing all kind of things that were of the world. So now God said, that's too much. Y'all out here killing each other, killing one another. Y'all not taking care of one another. Now you got to sit down and just rethink life and just, and put God first. And that if you put Him first, that's why we're all still here. And so we've got to just start learning to, come back to our old ways, coming back to our village, and come back to doing what we need to do as a community. And that's helping and loving one another.
You're absolutely right. Dr. Anderson, I'm just grateful that you have been one to avail yourself to our community. So many of our individuals who are in office, and not any particular person. I'm not making any reference to any particular person, but just as an oversight. So many people often get in office and totally neglect the community. But even for you to be as just as transparent to give out your phone number here moments ago was just a testament, really a testament and a true sign to just how committed you are to this community and to serving this community and making sure that the needs are met and you were talking about some of the resources that are available, of food and job placement and resume building and just a plethora of things that you and other governmental officials have been able to put in place for our community, for those that are suffering. And Dr. Anderson, also, I wanted to ask you this. You talked about doing things that you've never done. Where can we go to learn some of these creative things to do while we've got so much downtime? Some of us are just running out of things to do.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it, you have a whole earth that God has given us right here.
Right.
You've got a park down the street. You've got, walk in nature. Get out there with your kids and walk in nature. Take them to the grocery store. Talk about, I hear conversations amongst people, talking to their kids in the grocery store. Talk about take them to the what do you call it, where you get the meat from, to the not the bakery, but the
produce, not produce, excuse me.
I forget the section, but where you slice the meat. Talk about
the deli. There you go.
Take them to the Cab Farmers Market. Take them to the deli. Talk about the pig and talk about where the pig comes from. Pig comes from a farm. The pig has a mom and a dad. Just break it down. Start having those simple conversations that you have with your kids will bring so much to them and provide so much to their education. We just don't understand. Take them to the Cab Farmers Market. Put their mask on. Take them outside. Take them for walks, within the community. Let them see where, let them take them downtown to Jonesboro if you have to. Let them see where you go vote at. Talk about, you can pick a topic to talk about every day and go on a field trip with your child every day somewhere. It's somewhere you can go. And, put them on a mask, of course, make sure it's safe. But, there are a plethora of things that we can do. And we just, and it's the simple things that we have not taken time to do with our kids, because we've been so busy. We've been working. We've been chasing the almighty dollar. And some of us don't have a choice. We have a lot of the working poor where they have to work, where we have to work. But, sometimes, God just provides. And I'm just a believer that, if we ask God for anything we ask God for, he's going to provide it for us. And some of us have not had to work at all through this pandemic and have to provide it for. And those are the ones who really need to be standing up thanking God for everything. So, we've just got to change our mindset. We've got to come out this poverty mentality and focus on what we need and bring people up. Everybody's been so broken down. So now it's time to build everybody back up and get everybody, what they need. And so, like I said, as a community leader, that's what I'm all about. I want to see everybody make it. I want everybody to have it. How can I be rich and not expect the people around me to be rich? Everybody to make it. And that's how we should be thinking. And we should be providing, making sure that everybody eats, everybody has a job. Anything, when people come to me, they not only come to me as a school board member, they come to me and ask me all these things. And I used to say, well, God, why are you sending this person to me to ask me for that? I'm just a school board member. He said, no, I built you for a time as this. And you're gonna feed my people. You're gonna make sure that they have what they need, and I'm gonna give you the resources. You just do what I ask you to do, and you do it with excellence. And that's what I'm.
Wow, that is incredible. I want to just go back to what you were saying earlier. Take your children to the supermarket. Do you know how many hours we've spent at that place you named earlier, DeKalb Farmers Market? My son's watching how they grind almond butter, just standing there in amazement, looking at the lady put almonds over in the grinder and produce almond butter, going there where the fish is and identifying the dozens of fish species that are there and hundreds of different cheeses. I mean, things you would say, come on now, really? Are we really talking about this? But kids' imaginations are really stimulated by the simplest things that most of us, because we've been in a rush. I've been at that grocery store 100 times rushing because I got to hurry up and get to this next appointment. But now we can sit down and talk about, that machine takes the almonds and grinds it, and that's how we get almond butter? Or this type of fish? What's the difference between a wild piece or a farm raised? Just a plethora of conversation. This cheese versus that cheese, and you say, but geez, if it had not been for this pandemic, maybe even some of the things my children, and there's nothing worse than watching children turn into adults and not knowing, right? Being ignorant of things that you and I just take for granted.
Exactly.
And you're saying as a board member that we can make a field trip out of anything, right?
Exactly. The park, the grocery store, everywhere. You'd be surprised at some of our kids who have not been out of Clayton County, who have not. Some of our kids haven't even seen downtown Atlanta. And so we've got to, now is the time. We've got to broaden our horizons, show our people something different. And show them that they can. We've got to give everybody hope. Now is the time. If you're not a business owner through this pandemic, you need to be trying to be a business owner. It's so many things, and I applaud our millennials because they are just, they are just magnificent. I wish I could just build something in Clayton County and put all our millennials in that one area and give them a little coffee shop and all of the above, and have their little, their little section because,
an innovation think camp of some sort. Yeah.
They're so innovative, and they're coming up with their own businesses. They're doing what they have to do through this pandemic. And it's just wonderful, just seeing them out there and the ideas and the T-shirts and the hats and the lashes and everything that they're coming up with. I just love it. And that's what we've got to do with our children. Ask your child, what do you want to be in life? And don't sit around. Be like Tiger Woods' dad was. Take him out to the golf course. Take them out to Lake Spivey. We have a whole golf course out here. All of our kids ought to be out there playing golf and tennis and things of that nature. We've got to show our children something different, and provide them something different. That's what we try to do in Clayton County Public Schools. That's why we have the different career pathways and things of that nature. And one thing, I'm working on the school myself. And that I'm going to be, doing some different things and preparing our kids, just to do great things. And so we've got to change our thinking, the way we think. We've got to learn how to think outside of the box. And if we're going to do that, it's going to take community. It's going to take all of us working together. And again, it's going to, we got to move that negativity out the way and focus on the positive. And you can do this thing.
Yeah. So, Dr. Anderson, as we prepare to bring this conversation to a close, what do you want to say to some of the other teachers that are not necessarily in our county? They're in some of the neighboring counties that you gave the data on, who are in the struggle of what they're fighting for and believing that their health is at risk and that perhaps no one is hearing. What do you really want to say to them tonight?
I just want to tell you that I hear you. I am a board member, and I not only work for Clayton County, but I work for I work for the state of Georgia. A lot of times we go up to DC as a board, and when we legislate, we don't just legislate for Clayton. We legislate for Georgia. So I hear you. We'll probably have our federal relations conference this year. And it might be virtual, but I will be speaking out. One thing that I do, I go and talk to, this year I'll be going to talk to Warnock and Ossoff. Woo! And I want to say thank you all for getting out there and voting and everything like that. But, and letting them know things of that nature. And sometimes I go meet with the legislators in Cobb County and the Congress people in Cobb County. And, we all work together. So we don't just go up there when we legislate and just legislate for our county. Sure. We legislate for all of Georgia. So just know that I will be speaking up for you. I am not going to bite my tongue, as you all can see. And I'm going to speak up for educators. A closed mouth, my mama taught me a closed mouth don't get fed. And I'm going to make sure that not only do we eat as educators, but we are treated fairly and we are treated with respect. And, that's one thing that I've always said. I said, when I first got into education, I said, oh my God, I was like, I said, this is the only. I used to say, Mama, this is the only. I would tell my mom, I don't know if I want to do this. And she said, no, you're gonna continue to teach. You're gonna continue to do what you're doing. God has you has you in there for a purpose. And I truly believe He has me in here for a purpose, because a lot of people are scared. They're scared of this and they're scared of that. But you can't be scared. God didn't put the spirit of fear in us. He didn't put the spirit of for us to be timid and not speak out. Sometimes we're gonna go through things, and just know that. But I applaud each and every teacher that stood out there with a casket, that stood out there, with a sign and said, "I can't teach while I'm dead."
Mm-hmm.
And people need to realize that. The teachers can't teach if they're dying.
Mm-mm.
How are they going to educate the children? So, believe me, we work hard. We all work hard. Teachers work hard. Doctors work hard. Everybody's out here working hard. So we've got to just, our nurses are working hard. Everybody's doing their part. And so, just know that I applaud you. I'm going to stand up for you. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to make sure that your voices are heard. And I'm there for you. So just know that, hey, I'm not scared. My mama didn't make my mama, I've never been scared. And I'm going to stand up for what's right. And that's what I'm going to do. And so, I got your back. That's all I got to say. I got your back. And I'm
wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. Listen, for those that need to follow Dr. Anderson, you want to know more, I know she gave her phone number, but please, friends, go to Dr. _ Alieka, Alieka. Say that again, Dr.
Go to Alieka.Anderson at Clayton.
Oh, Alieka. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was trying to send people to your Instagram, but
oh yeah, you can send them to Instagram. Okay.
All right. Well, listen, you got a plethora of ways. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. She's on Twitter. Give them that county email address again, Dr. Anderson, if you will.
It's Alieka.Anderson at Clayton.K12.ga.us, and you can give them the Instagram one too. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to get hip to all these Instagram, email, Facebook. I'm sorry.
Before I do that, one more time, what is that county email address?
Alieka.Anderson at Clayton.K12.ga.us.
All right. So, friends, if you are in District 8 and you, for some unknown reason, you have not connected with Dr. Anderson in times past, here you go. Tonight, you can do so with her county email address, and then look her up on Facebook, Dr. Alieka Anderson. She's on Instagram at spell out the word Dr. _ Alieka Anderson. Same thing for Twitter. You can find her. She's easily accessible. She's fighting. She's courageous. She doesn't bite her tongue. You don't ever know. You might be at one of these food distribution sites, and you might see her there with a mask on serving. You just never know where you might see Dr. Alieka Anderson. So tonight we applaud you, and if nobody else has said it to you today, Dr. Anderson, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you advocating for not only the students, but the parents and the educators. All three. You're advocating for all of those constituents. And not only, as you said, not only just your constituents in District 8, but all of Clayton County, all of Atlanta, all of the state of Georgia. You have just been one that has been very outspoken in making sure that you voice the concerns of the people and making sure that their voices are heard. So again, thank you so very much.
And thank you for having me tonight.
All right. You take care now.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Friends, I pray and trust that this conversation, this long talk, has been something that you will walk away saying, boy, there is really somebody out here that is really looking at the whole picture, not buying into the narrative or not placing their own agenda at the forefront. But tonight we heard Dr. Anderson talk to us about that which is most significant, looking at the data and with a conscientious approach, making sure that you look at the data and make a determination accordingly. And we're seeing that here in Clayton County, the numbers are lower than some of our neighboring counties. And for that cause, we wish to keep them low. We're not in a competition. We're not trying to reach another benchmark. No, we want to keep those numbers as low, 283 to be precise. Want to keep that number as low as we possibly can. And I believe Dr. Anderson and other board members and the great superintendent, Dr. Beasley, and just many of the educators and so many others are advocating to keep those numbers as low as possible. So listen, to that one and to those, we see you, we hear you, we know that perhaps you're up to here with it. But as Dr. Anderson said, this is a time in which you need to change the narrative, even in your own home. Let me just take the liberty to say, as she said earlier, find a way to be creative with your kids. Develop the village of support that may be necessary because the load may be too heavy upon you. And so I want to just admonish you, listen, get out and meet your neighbors. Yes, let's develop trust one with another. Let's not be foolish, but let's initialize some trust so that we can share this load together. All right? Well, listen, join us again Thursday night. And as always, I want you to please help us keep this meaningful dialogue going. I want you to tonight subscribe and like it and share it, because there may be some parents who got off of the State of the Superintendent address and called it a night. And so they didn't know that there was an official response even here tonight with Dr. Alieka Anderson from District 8, the vice chair of the board. And so I want you to make sure that you share this with all of your village, everybody, that they can watch this whenever they have the opportunity. All right? All right. Well, again, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back on Thursday night. And so at that appointed time, make sure you tune back in Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. for another Long Talk. God bless you, and we'll see you then.
Follow us on Facebook at Daunta A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Daunta Long. Follow us on YouTube at Daunta A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.